Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that His presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. We are getting really close to wrapping up Philippians. We're in the second half of chapter 4, and Paul has been talking to the Philippians about the gift that they sent him through Epaphroditus. And we saw last time how Paul says that he's learned the secret of being content in any and every situation. And so he's grateful that the Philippians renewed their concern for him and sent this care package, but he's especially rejoicing in the Lord, giving thanksgiving to God about the Philippians' care for him. Now, he goes on to talk about how it was good for the Philippian congregation to do this, and that he really celebrates this congregation. From the very beginning, they have supported him financially in his ministry. They cared for him, sent gifts to him while he was in Thessalonica, and it seems like across the years, they have been faithful to support Paul in ministry. And he says that now he doesn't lack anything, but because they have sent Epaphroditus to him. And Epaphroditus brought gifts. We don't know what all, but Paul says he is amply supplied and he is grateful. And it's really interesting because he doesn't just kind of say a flat out thank you. He says that he rejoices in the Lord for the Philippians renewing their concern for him. And he says that their gift to him is an acceptable sacrifice, a pleasing aroma to God. And so rather than this being just kind of a horizontal conversation between Paul and the Philippians, it's much more of a triangle. Rather than him saying thank you to the church, he rejoices in the Lord. And rather than the church simply giving a gift to Paul, Paul sees this as a sacrifice that is offered up to God through Christ. And so it is a triangle of giving instead of just giving straight across on kind of a level field. Their act of giving is an act of worship that is pleasing and acceptable to God. And his act of receiving isn't just saying thank you to the Philippian congregation. It's actually saying thank you to God and rejoicing that the Lord moved the Philippians to give. And then he tells them that he is confident, he knows that his God will supply all their needs through his glorious riches in Christ Jesus. And so Paul knows that everything is really coming from God, that God will supply the needs of the congregation in Philippi, that God will supply his needs, that God will see them both through. And it's God who enables them to give. And God supplies, God moves hearts to give and to care for each other. So it's very much a triangle of giving rather than simply flat giving. And I think that's the lesson for us wherever we find ourselves scattered today, to remember that we're part of a triangle. It's a triangle of giving, a triangle of receiving. And so whenever we receive, we say thank you to each other, but we especially say thank you to God, and we rejoice that God has touched somebody's heart to share with us, to be concerned about us, to give. And whenever we give, we realize that we're part of a triangle, that we're not just giving at a flat level, but our giving is actually an offering to God, a sacrifice to God, if you will, that is a pleasing aroma to God. And so wherever you find yourself scattered today, be part of the triangle, both in giving thanks to God because of the gifts that you've received from others. And it could be a monetary gift, it could be material, it could be encouragement, but giving thanks to God that God has moved somebody to care for us. And at the same time, be part of the triangle in terms of caring for somebody else as an act of devotion, an act of worship to God. Whether that be financially, whether that be with a phone call, whether that be some way of reaching out and showing care. That we're part of this triangle. We're not just living flat lives. And so, wherever you find yourself scattered today, participate in the triangle. God bless and have a triangle day.